Okay. What's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Welcome back to Hanging with Mangg. Playing a little Overwatch 2, of course. The last days of Overwatch 2 before Marvel Rivals comes out. I don't know. I'm pretty hyped for Marvel Rivals. I haven't watched a lot of footage of it. I haven't played any of the betas or whatever. But yeah, I really hope that doesn't suck. Not that I'm like a huge Marvel fan or anything like that, but I think it looks good, and I am a big Hulk fan. And I watched somebody, you know, show off the Hulk and talk about the Hulk in that game, and unfortunately they said that the Hulk currently, or at the time they made that, is like one of the weakest characters, which is just nonsense, but... yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
They took him from us. We need to put a stop to their push.
I don't know. Sorry. There's a new tank, and I haven't played him before. I'm really not sure. It requires too much thought.
I am with the robot.
But yeah, Marvel Rivals. Hope it's good. That's all I can say.
All right, starting the push.
And yeah, so outside of that, this week on this channel, we had old school games. I have no idea what his fucking ult does.
Adaptive circuit engaged.
Pretty cool tank though. And yeah, so Might and Magic, Gold Box.
Got that barricade moving.
And that's gonna sort of continue, except instead of Gold Box, we switched over to Cataclysm. Ah, damn. And I'm happy to announce that I just finished recording that Cataclysm run, so it's all done, and it'll all be uploaded. All good. So yeah, Cataclysm this week. The rest of Might and Magic, probably. There isn't too many videos left.
Face me.
God, what am I doing? And oh god, fuck it.
Reality bends to my will.
I shouldn't have been tanked. I have to think too much to be tank here. That was a mistake.
Behold my exceptionality.
Might Magic, Cataclysm, Two Brothers Play, more Archipelago, of course. That's pretty much all there is to say. Now, I've been eyeing up the Steam lists, looking at new games.
Protecting you.
Haven't seen too much that tickles my fancy. But, you know. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out. And yes, I would oftentimes rather play something like Cataclysm than a brand new game. I don't know. I don't know. Over on the Exploring series. Boy, what the hell did I upload? Oh yeah, Phobophobia. That's right.
Enemy turret ahead.
Yeah, SCP views are now a little down as well. I feel like a lot of people checked out of the channel or something. See, I gotta stick with SCP for a while now to get favor back. It is worrisome, you know, how many comments I saw when I announced I was ending movie reviews. How many comments saying that they didn't even know that I was doing them because they're not showing up in people's subscription feeds.
60 seconds remaining.
Keep fighting.
That's worrisome. It makes you wonder if there's like something wrong with the channel and I should like contact someone at YouTube. It's not in my nature to contact YouTube. You know, I generally just sit as long as nothing's terribly wrong, like I get demonetized. It's my third Doomfist. I don't know how to play Doomfist. Stop doing this.
Огонь по готовности.
Put a stop to that.
Great. Unless something's terribly broken, I just make videos and hope for the best, you know. Because I know I've contacted YouTube. Like, if you haven't contacted YouTube before, if you haven't been a content creator that's done it, you don't know what it's like. It's just miserable. It's just miserable, man. The people you contact know as little as you do. The people you contact are just there to, like, decide whether or not you're worthy enough for them to elevate your complaints to someone that does actually know something. That's all it is. And that process is rigorous, you know. So it's a lot of back and forth. I feel like they kind of hope that you will just give up and just stop talking to them and move on with your life. And that's why it's so often when channels get demonetized, it takes like social media. You have to like go on Twitter and make a big stink about it, and then they're like, oh boy, this seems important, we should take care of this. So it's not really in my nature to contact YouTube about any issue, but it would be nice to know if there is actually something wrong with the channel, because it seems like it. I know there's the whole bell system, but correct me if I'm wrong. If I subscribe to a channel and I go to my subscription feed that shows videos from my subscribed channel, and they upload a new video, it should be there. Right? Isn't that how it should work? So I don't know why people are seeing like my community messages and replying to them saying that I don't see your videos in the subscription feed. That seems like something's broke.
5, 4, 3.
I don't know. I mean, I still get quite... I don't know.
Capture the objective.
Hey, Cornel. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep making videos. This week, we've got the first of a two-parter, actually. Fuck. First of a two-parter. SCP-7600. 6 feet under. It's another one of those big epics featuring the Children of the Night, SCP-1000. It's a big underground city where they all live. All 2 billion of them. And the Foundation gets involved, and it's great. Should work like that, but if you subscribe to a lot, you won't see everything unless you ring the bell. Other channels complain about that. It's something YouTube does for no reason. Brilliant! Brilliant. It's horrible. Oh, nice red. Just always manually check my channel. It's really no effort, and the reward is always a genuine delight. I appreciate that. Unfortunately, the majority of people do not, and I think the majority of people just forget that I exist. And then, you know, time marches on.
Time for the reckoning! Do something!
Man. You know, you wish you could just like put it out on blast to anyone that's subscribed in the being like, hey, I'm still here. I still make SCP videos. They're still good. But it doesn't work like that. So all I can do is just keep making videos, and that's it. That's what I'll do.
You don't look so good. Maybe you should sit this one out and leave the kills to me.
At this point, I'm not even really sure what I would do other than SCP. I feel like I've tried other things that I have a lot of interest in that I think would work and didn't work. The last thing that I think I mentioned that I could still do is covering just other creepypastas and just doing like readings, or maybe not even readings for a lot of them, maybe just like summaries.
Victory is at hand.
I won't do that for a while, but that is a possibility.
Over here! Over here!
Everyone, heal up.
The objective is
Hostile other objective.
No, that fucked up. Yeah, so SCP-7600, it'll be a two-parter. The first part's like 55 minutes long or something like that.
Clear skies, clear skies.
It's probably really finicky. People are bombarded by all manner of stuff and they just forget in the chaos. Yeah. Yeah, of course, like everybody, I wish YouTube was better, but we work with what we got.
It's the at your service.
Look at this Roadhog going in on his own.
Flanking.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
This was cut the bait.
Why would you close in on the Reaper? Yeah, so. Are my Lovecraft stories popular enough? Some of them. Some of my readings, like the really well-known stories, like Dunator, Shadow over Innsmouth, those are some of my most popular videos. And then other ones that I cover, like the recent one I did and stuff, those don't seem to ever get many views. And I've covered pretty much all the big ones already. I was thinking of redoing Call of Cthulhu at some point with better audio quality and better reading. I'll probably do that at some point. Yeah. Lovecraft's good, but eventually I will run out of stories, so I haven't really been, like, pushing. I haven't been doing many of them. I keep it sparse, so it lasts. It's like a really good dessert, you know, you wanna savor it. Folklore and cryptids would be cool. Yeah, I've had people suggest cryptids before, and it's just like, I see where there's potentially like an overlap between SCP and like cryptids in the real world and stuff. But the thing is, SCP is not really about cryptids or weird things. It's about the stories. And covering a real world cryptid is a lot harder to craft like a story about it. Like, I feel like that's almost a completely different channel then. And I have done videos in the past, you know, my exploring like mythology and stuff like that, where I looked at zombies and werewolves and stuff, and there wasn't really a story there. It was a look at like the history of how those things developed over time and the various beliefs and things. But I don't, yeah, looking at like Mothman or something, it's just like, oh no, I'd be interested in covering a story about Mothman, but looking at the actual cryptid, I don't know. I don't know what I would really say that other channels haven't already said, or that almost seems just like a completely different channel to me. One of those sort of like, you know, with like a very enthusiastic narrator that that sounds like they genuinely believe that these creatures exist, you know, that sort of channel. Whereas I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like more of a storyteller. Yeah, I mean, I'll I'll just keep doing SCP and it'll get views. It's fine. What about adjacent Cthulhu Mythos writers? You know, people click mostly on what they are already like familiar with. Like that's why the my most popular Lovecraft videos are on his most popular stories for the most part, you know. And I don't know why. Maybe it's just because they've heard of those stories, and because they've heard of them, they know that they're like the popular ones, and thus they're the good ones, or something like that. I don't know. But I did, the one time that I took kind of a step out of that was when I covered The Black Cat by Edgar Allan Poe. And I'm not a huge Poe fan, but I really liked that story specifically, and I was like, I'm going to cover this. I think it's good. And it really did quite abysmally in views because it didn't have Lovecraft in the title. So, yeah, I could cover some other of his, you know, his buddies, his circles. I could cover a Derleth story or Clark Ashton Smith or something. But I just don't expect people to click on it, to be honest. I wish they would. The only one that I've gotten requests for multiple times that I'm tempted to do is The King in Yellow. By Chambers. I've mentioned it in SCP videos, you know, especially well, in connection to like Alagata and stuff. The Hanged King, that's all pretty heavily inspired by The King in Yellow. But the thing is, like, that book is a collection of short stories. And the whole book would be a pretty lengthy read, I think. I don't know, actually. I don't know what the page count on that is. Maybe it wouldn't be too bad. Well, here's the Horror Babble did it. And basically every single audiobook that I do, Horror Babble has already done. So I always look to his channel to see like how long it will take me to read it. I actually find that all of my readings are a bit longer than his. I think I talk slower. Well, I definitely talk slower. So his King in Yellow Complete Collection video is 7.5 hours. So for me, that's easily 8 plus. That's big. That is a lot. Just thinking about how much work and time went into like the Mountains of Madness, which I think is half that. That would be like an endeavor. I'd basically have to do like 8 parts of the King in Yellow and then combine it all together at the end. I'd be forced to add the name Lovecraft or Lovecraftian to the title even if he didn't write it. Ooh, that makes me just shudder. That's sort of like YouTube algorithm nonsense that I always avoid. I don't know. The King in Yellow, what I should do is just like every weekend or so for like several months, I should just go in and record like half an hour or something like that. And then eventually, 8 months down the road or something like that, I'll have the complete collection that I can just put out there. That's probably what I should do. People suggested that I should have did the movie summaries on a separate channel, like create a new channel. That's rough though, because you don't have you don't have all your subscribers on that channel. You have to hope that people will go to it while also trying to attract new people from the ground up. You don't have any monetization on that channel, so I'll be putting out videos out there that I worked on that I could be making money on the normal channel, but I won't be on that other channel. And then that still is, I was doing for a little bit, or the plan was to do like on and off, or 1 week SCP, 1 week movie summary. But if I did it on the other channel, then that would be 1 week SCP, and then the next week would be nothing on the main channel. So, I didn't really feel excited about that idea. Yeah, 8 hours is definitely a very long audiobook. It's quite a bit of time. I read The King in Yellow years ago. I remember enjoying it a decent amount. It's a collection of short stories, so some of them are definitely better than others from my memory. And if you're interested in the King in Yellow because of like Hastur and Carcosa, I mean that is a pretty small amount of the short stories that have to deal with it. So it's an 8-hour thing, but that people want because it reminds them of Alagata and the Hanged King and stuff. But that would be a pretty small part of it, and mostly it's just kind of a collection of short horror stories. But if people click on it and start listening to it because of that, that's good enough, Horror Battle's most popular video, like by far, is his complete Cthulhu mythos. 22 hours long. And this is definitely not the complete Cthulhu mythos. This video contains the Nameless City, the Hound, the Festival, the Call of Cthulhu, the Dunwich Horror, the Whisperer in Darkness, the Dreams in the Witch House, At the Mountains of Madness, Shadow over Innsmouth, Shadow Out of Time, Haunter of the Dark, Thing on the Doorstep, History of the Necronomicon, Fungi from Yugget. So that's 14 stories in one video. I guess it adheres to the book Lovecraft: A Look Behind the Cthulhu Mythos by Lynn Carter, whose requirement for including a story was that it must present us with a significant item of information about the background lore of the mythos, thus contributing important information to a common body of lore. So the thing is, I can't really copy that idea. But I don't think people care too much about the specifics. You know, my brother Lego has been watching a lot of SNES Drunks videos, and he was talking to me about it, and he said that he first was introduced to the channel through a bunch of, like, compilation videos that he has put out. Let me see if I can... Yeah, okay, here, perfect. So he's done, you know, SNES Drunk has done a lot of, you know, many videos on just individual SNES games. But then he has here these videos of like 10 hours of SNES Drunk reviews. And it's just 10 hours. And there's like, man, oh man, there's a shit ton of videos combined in here. I would say like 80 at least. Because his videos are like 10 minutes or something, so it's not very long, but he combines it all into one. And this is one of his most popular videos. Oh, it's 119. There you go, 119 videos combined into one. And this is one of his most popular videos, because people like these just ultra long things to just put on in the background or put on at night and stuff. And so I wondered if I should be doing stuff like that. I know that the animated SCP channels, they do all sorts of shit like that. Like, every video they put out is a compilation with, like, one new video added on top of it. Eventually I was going to do, like, a complete collection of the Cactus Verse stuff, if he ever finishes the Cactus Verse. And I remember I messaged him, like, a couple of years ago at this point, about, like, at what point, you know, will I be able to do that, like, a collection video of that, and he gave me, like, his rough timeline of articles, but, you know, he's got to finish them. And I'll probably do something like that for the red tape stuff for Rounder House, whenever that finishes. But I don't know, I'm not good at, like, thinking of, like, a good compilation, other than just 10 hours of SCP, you know, 10 hours of exploring SCP, and I just grab a bunch of videos and slam them together. It just seems so lazy and, like, I don't know. I can see the appeal, but it just feels lazy to me as a creator. Another channel is just an extra for me to run and manage then, and an extra channel for people to subscribe to. It may make it easier for them to know what's up, but they'll have to check both still. Yeah, I mean, secondary channels and stuff are quite common among bigger YouTubers. And what am I saying? I have 2 channels. It's just the second channel I don't give a shit about as far as monetization and views and stuff. Whereas if I put something serious that I was putting time and effort into onto a second channel, you know, that would be more to manage. Love my vids on Chrono Trigger. Yeah, I like doing the video game stuff too, but again, just nothing I do gets as much views as SCP, and it's all typically more effort. Yeah, the Final Fantasy 14 video, that was quite a bit of work. That was a lot of work. I had to play through all of Realm Reborn and record it and then write all this script, and yeah, it was a lot of work for a bit under 4 hours of video. But, you know, it's sitting at 1.8 million views. It's pretty good. I think it's like the most popular Final Fantasy 14 story video. So, I mean, yeah, I'm very pleased with how that turned out. And that motivated me to do the patch quests for A Realm Reborn, which took also a lot of time and effort. And then that video got, like, no views. No views whatsoever. Because it's much more specific. That has 40,000 views. So at some point I'm going to combine them. I'm going to combine the two, and I'll just... The story of Final Fantasy 14, Realm Reborn plus patch quests, and just... That will be nearly 7-hour long video. That is insane to think. The Realm Reborn, levels 1 through 50, is 4 hours. And then the patch quests, which are basically just at level 50 before the first expansion. That's almost 3 hours to cover. It's one of those things where probably, like, had I spun that into a different channel, you know, and I put out the story of Final Fantasy 14, and then I did the story of Final Fantasy 14, the patch quests, and then I did Heaven's Word, you know, and that was like what the channel was. And then from there, you get this huge following of people that love Final Fantasy 14, and generally by extension, they love Final Fantasy. And then I could spin that off into, and just dedicate all my time to that. Like, that probably could have been an avenue, because I got, like, just a ridiculous amount of love on that first Final Fantasy 14 video. That's the tricky thing now, is like, it's my career. This is how I pay the bills, you know? So it makes it much tougher to experiment. It makes it much tougher to be like, okay, I'm done with SCP. I'm going to be doing this now for the next 6 months. Like, it's a lot harder to do that when you have bills to pay. So, yeah, it's just rough. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like SCP. I'll continue to like SCP, so it's really not like... If it ever came to the point where I'm like, I just cannot cover SCP, I'm sick of it, I'm done. If it ever came to that, then yeah, I mean, I would have to change and make changes and just survive somehow. But As long as I'm, you know, as long as I still enjoy it, I'm gonna keep covering it, and it's fine. Yeah. I mean, all we can really hope for, you know, me and the Volgan and some other creators, all we can really hope for is that SCP experiences another like resurgence or something, and people are like, a new generation comes along and is like, oh, this is some cool stuff. Yeah, I mean, YouTube offers a lot of freedom. Having YouTube as a career offers a lot of freedom, for sure. I am the ultimate arbiter of everything that gets put onto my channel, everything that I make money off of, you know, is because of me and me alone putting in time and effort and making the decision. But at the same time, I'm at the whims of an audience. I'm at the whims of the algorithm. There's no real job protection of of any kind here. So but you know, it's been good for years, so I can't complain. What about like a compilation on the Deva? Originally, I had several introductory videos, but what about something like an advanced overview? Well, so I have. So I did the video on the Deva. The Davites. That was one of my earliest videos. And then I did more Davite SCPs a few years ago. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could combine like any article or any video that I've covered that involves the Davites. So my initial video, the more Davite SCPs, SCP-6140, Mom, Jewel, and Karar is big on Davites. G is for Gesundheit from the anthology last year is all about the Davites. There's probably some others that involve the Davites. I could make a compilation like that. I could do one for Sarcasm. Yeah. Unless you mean like doing like a new kind of video that just like a new script in which I explain the Davites in much more detail. That's a lot more work. But yeah, just combining a bunch of these videos that kind of share a topic. I could probably pretty easily do that for Davites, Sarkites, and Mechanites. If I wanted to do like a 10-hour compilation, I could do like, I mean, I could just call it something similar, like 10 hours of exploring SCP, but I could include like all of the compilation videos that I've done, like food SCPs and self-replicating SCPs and Foundation-made SCPs. Because those are already a collection of shorter ones. So I could just combine all my shorter ones into one video. I might do that. I might put out that and just see if that interests anybody. I don't know what's involved in rendering a 10-hour long video. Actually, I do know. Yeah, I did the ABCs of Death. That was 12 hours. That, yeah, I recall that took a long time to render. Both are options, you just meant compilations. Yeah, okay, I might I might do that. Especially going into like the holiday season here, where views are the most important. It might be handy to just put out some big epic compilations that could grab some extra views. Because October kind of hurt for views. Well, anyways, so this week, SCP-7600 Part 1. And on this channel, Might and Magic and Cataclysm, No Hope, along with some more Two Brothers Archipelago. And that'll be that. Jonesing for the views. Yeah, that's the life, man. I don't Jones too hard, but sometimes you gotta. ABCs of Death were great separately and also combined. Yeah, I wish the compilation of the ABCs of Death got more views. Not sure why that kind of floundered a little bit. But maybe because everyone had just finished watching all of them separately. And the algorithm didn't want to pick it up because it has the word death in the title. That could be. That could be. But alright, I gotta go. So thanks, Corneal and Action Quaxon, for chatting. I appreciate it. My name is Mangg. This has been Hanging with Mangg. And I'll see you fine folks next week.